Rain didn't just fall that night, it pressed against the cafe window like it had something to say. My phone buzzed once, soft, innocent, and that's how it started, because I opened Layla's message expecting a meme, a joke, the usual. Instead, it was a screenshot, our private chat, my words, my trust, dropped into the group like a cup shattering on tile, and the moment she typed, "OMG, wrong chat," everything in me changed. My stomach tightened, my fingers went cold. Because when someone accidentally exposes you, it doesn't just embarrass you, it rewrites the friendship. It makes you replay every laugh, every secret, every time you said, "It's fine," when it wasn't. And in that rainy glow, I realized this wasn't a mistake, it was a test. There's a kind of friendship that feels like a warm coat, the kind you throw on without thinking. It fits because it's been yours for years. That's what Layla felt like. We met in a season of my life when everything was new. New city streets, new routines, new loneliness I didn't know how to name. Halifax has a way of making you feel held and haunted at the same time. The harbor looks calm, even when the wind is sharp enough to steal your breath. Layla was the first person who made the city feel less like a place I was surviving and more like a place I belonged. She had that kind of smile that made strangers treat her like a friend. She talked fast, laughed easy, always had a story. And when you're the quiet one, the observer, someone like that feels like sunlight, loud, warm, undeniable. And then there was Sam. Sam didn't sparkle the way Layla did. Sam steadied. She listened like she was collecting truth, not entertainment. She never rushed to fill silence. She let things breathe. We were a trio. Different energies, one group chat. And like every modern friendship, our real life wasn't just in cafes. It was in voice notes, in late-night typing bubbles, in "you up" messages, in screenshots you send when something is too wild to explain. So when Layla texted that night, I didn't think twice, because I never had to, until I did. It was just after 9. The cafe was warm, the kind of warm that makes you forget the world outside is soaked and cold. Sam had stepped out to take a call. Layla was still in her apartment, sending voice notes like she was sitting right next to me. My phone buzzed. Once. That innocent little sound that has started wars, ended relationships, and changed people's lives. I glanced down, expecting the usual. And there it was. A screenshot. Our private chat. In the group chat. Layla chats. "OMG, wrong chat. Ignore that, babe," Layla said. Sam chats. Layla? At first, my brain tried to protect me. It told me it was nothing. It told me it was funny. It told me accidents happen. But my body didn't laugh. My stomach tightened like it recognized danger before my mind could name it. Because the screenshot wasn't just a screenshot. It was context. It was my words, framed in a way I didn't choose. My vulnerability held up to a room full of people. And it wasn't cropped. That's what hit me first. The screenshot wasn't cropped. If it was truly accidental, why wasn't it cropped? Because when you accidentally send something private, you don't send the whole thing. You panic, you delete, you scramble, you fix it. Layla didn't. She followed it with a laughing emoji, like the spill itself was the joke. "It's not even deep," that's what she said. And it would have been easy to accept it, to roll my eyes, to keep my place in the group, to swallow the discomfort like I'd swallowed so many things before. But then, Sam came back. And Sam did what Sam always does. She looked at the thing everyone else was rushing past and asked the questions sitting underneath it. "Who was that screenshot meant for?" asked Sam. I didn't answer right away, because the truth was, I hadn't even thought to ask. I was still stuck in the embarrassment, the sudden heat in my face, the way my phone suddenly felt heavy in my hand. Sam leaned in, calm, and for the first time I felt something break through the haze. Curiosity. Because if Layla didn't mean to send it to us, then who did she mean to send it to? So I tapped the image, and I zoomed in, slowly, like the truth might bite me if I moved too fast. And there it was, at the very top. A name. Not Harbor Girls, not Sam, not Maya. It's Aiden. A name I'd heard, but only in passing, the kind of passing that never sounds like a threat until it becomes one. Layla had mentioned Aiden a few times over the last month, always casually. Aiden said the funniest thing. Aiden is coming out with us next weekend. You'd love Aiden. And I never pushed for details because I didn't want to be that friend, the friend who interrogates, the friend who seems insecure. But insecurity isn't always irrational. Sometimes it's just your instincts begging you to pay attention. Below Aiden's name was a line I recognized because it was my voice copied into someone else's narrative. She's so needy. I blinked. Once, twice, and then I realized something worse. That wasn't a sentence about a stranger. That was a sentence about me. In friendships, there are loud betrayals, and then there are the quiet ones, the ones wrapped in jokes, the ones disguised as mistakes, the ones that leave you with no proof except the way your chest feels tight and your thoughts won't settle. Sam didn't snatch my phone. She didn't gasp dramatically. She just watched my face change, and her voice got softer. Maya, who is Aiden? I swallowed. I don't know. And that felt like the worst part. Not the screenshot, not the group chat, not even the line. The worst part was realizing there was a whole conversation happening about me in rooms I wasn't in, and my best friend was hosting it. Don't make this weird. Sam's jaw tightened. Not angry, disappointed. She leaned back and said something that landed like truth does. Quiet, heavy, unavoidable. Maya, if she loved you, she wouldn't need an audience. That night, I walked home through wet streets that smelled like salt and cold air. Halifax fog hung low like a secret. Streetlights blurred into soft halos. People passed me wrapped in coats, laughing like nothing in the world was fragile. And I kept replaying the moment, not just the screenshot, but all the little moments before it. The passive jokes, the backhanded compliments, the way Layla sometimes went quiet when something good happened to me, the way she always needed to be the loudest story in the room. And I wondered how many times I ignored my instincts because I didn't want to seem difficult, because women are taught to keep the peace, even if it costs their dignity. And that's when it hit me. A boundary isn't a wall, it's a door, and you decide who gets a key. You're being sensitive. The line people use when they want you to doubt your reality. My thumb hovered over the keyboard. I could write paragraphs, explain my feelings, ask for understanding, try to fix what she broke. Or I could do the thing I never did. I could be simple, clear, unapologetic. I stared at it, my heart pounding, because the scary thing about setting a boundary isn't losing the person who crossed it, it's finding out who they really are when you finally say no. So I hit send. It took 6 minutes for her to open it, 6 minutes that felt like an hour, and then she replied, not with an apology, not with accountability, but with something else. Wow, so you don't trust me? Sam put this in your head. And just like that, she did what people do when they don't want to face what they did. She changed the subject. She made it about trust instead of respect. She made it about Sam instead of her own choices. And that's how I knew this wasn't a one-time mistake. It was a pattern, and I'd just interrupted it. Friendship isn't proven by how long you know someone. It's proven by what they do with your softness, your secrets, your name when you're not in the room. That night, the rain kept falling. The harbor kept breathing fog into the streets. Life kept moving like it always does. But something in me shifted, because boundaries don't make you cold, they make you safe. And silence doesn't always mean peace. Sometimes it means you've been shrinking for too long. I don't know what Aiden is about to say. I don't know what Layla will do next. But I do know this. The moment you stop begging to be respected is the moment you start living like you are. What would you do if you're in my shoes? Comment, reply, ignore, block? Stay tuned for episode 2.